And we're back.
What's
This is
happening?
Hook and Ladder. This is week 1, 2025 season.
Welcome to the 2025 college football season.
That's right. Well, I guess we'll get started Thursday night. Now, South Florida demolished Boise State 34-7.
You know, I got to say this year is, this season that just started is a lot of anticipation. I was really looking forward to this. I get excited for college football season, but something, I don't know whether the way last year ended with, Ohio State not even making the conference championship game, losing a few games in the regular season, just going on an absolute burner of a run, winning the Natty. It was all winter long, all spring and summer. It's kind of building the anticipation, so I'm glad it's finally here.
Yes.
And watch this game. And Boise State, playoff darling last year. They lost Alshon Jeanty, but they're returning a lot of key pieces. They got a couple running backs. One of the running backs that got out of the portal. I expected them to win this game. But classic example of South Florida keeping some players around from going into the portal. South Florida is one of those teams that a lot of the top guys, they get poached. Quarterback continuity, and they looked really good. I said it in our group. Quarterback, I forgot his name, reminds me a little bit of Cam Newton. Just the way his size, but the way he moves around, running the football, throwing the football, reminds a little bit of Cam Newton. They look good. I don't think Boise State expected that to happen, and they look completely out of sorts. I mean, they were dominated on both lines of the scrimmage. Yeah. But South Florida, good for them.
Do you
South
schedule
Florida
games
Bulls.
do you schedule games in South Florida in August when you are scheduling these games? I mean, that's a big transition going from Boise State playing in Idaho.
Yes, and a lot of the guys from Boise State went down with cramps. But be that as it may, got to give credit to the Bulls, South Florida. They looked ready to go.
That's right.
So we'll see what they got going on the rest of the season. I think they're poised to have a good year.
Yeah, I do too. Moving on to Friday night, Illinois knocked off Western Illinois 52-3.
I didn't watch any of this game. I was watching other games Friday night.
When's the last time Illinois scored 52 points?
I don't know. When was the last time we had a lot of hype around Illinois?
Yeah.
They won. They won the bowl game last year when they beat South Carolina. Rough year for the SEC last year as a whole.
Yeah.
So Illinois is looking to kind of do something. They had a lot of returning guys. Brett Bielema has finally got them turned around, looking not quite like the Wisconsin that he coached, but getting there.
Yeah.
And I know Jerry's happy.
Yeah. Moving right along to the big game on Saturday. One of the big games. A lot of big games.
It was.
Ohio State knocked off Texas 14-7. I can't say that. I mean, I don't know. Just like an early season slugfest.
Yes,
more than anything else.
And as you mentioned, a lot of big games. Saturday was the reason why I decided to sell the tickets. I didn't want to miss some of these big games. This one in particular, as well as the LSU Clemson game. I wanted to watch those games. This game, 14-7. If you told Texas fans they were going to hold Ohio State to 14 points at home, you figured they would feel pretty good, like they would maybe win the football game. Yeah. I thought Julian Saint looked good. A few of his incompletions, I don't know what his completion percentage was in the stats, but he had a couple of drops.
Right.
There was one there on fourth down, or maybe it was third down or something early in the game. Nice, really pretty ball. Guy just dropped it on the sideline. But Ohio State looked good. I thought Texas defense looked pretty good as well. Yeah. Arch didn't look good. The Texas offense didn't look good. They ran the football pretty well.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say they dominated running the football. They ran the football well enough, just like they did in the loss last year in the playoffs to Ohio State. I felt they didn't lean on the run enough in this game.
Right.
Early on, Ohio State was stopping it, but they started making a little bit of hay later on in the game. But man, Arch was out of sorts. The videos are going all through social media now. It's him throwing like Uncle Rico sidearm.
In my opinion, and this is just this was his first start in a major game on the road. This was not a win-win situation for him. This was going to be a difficult game, and they had a chance.
They did, and I don't like when people say, "Oh, he had like the jitters the first game." I'm like, this dude started 2 games. He had all season long to prepare for this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they weren't prepared. No. I didn't like some of the calls by Sarkisian, especially down there in the goal line. They went for on 4th down and got stuck 4 times in the game, including 2 in the red zone. One of those things was like inside the 5.
Right.
Didn't like the play calls.
No.
To get there. They kept running Arch on a few plays. They were trying to run them, and I get it early on. They're trying to run them to see if that's going to work for them. It wasn't working. They should have just left alone. But down there on the goal line, they tried that. He got stuffed. Next thing you know, like second and 4, and Ohio State, that sneak that they ran. Ohio State had everybody right there between the guards and the center, and he didn't do nothing outside off tackle. He just went right over the guard, and Ohio State had all their dudes right there. Edric Houston, a dude from right here in Georgia, looked like a monster for Ohio State's defensive line. But first play of the game, they roll out Arch Manning. Nobody's near him. Has a guy wide open. Underthrows him. And from that moment on, you can kind of tell he went right.
Yeah. Well, moving right along, plenty more games to discuss. Penn State knocked off Nevada 46-11. I didn't see any of this one.
I just can't do with Penn State. We've talked about this. How many years have we been doing this show? We've talked about this so much, and everyone's going, oh, Penn State, they're going to be in contention for the Big Ten. No, they're not. They're going to lose to Ohio State like they always do. They're going to go to the playoffs now because it's a 12-team playoff at like 10-2, 11-1 at best. I still don't think they're that good.
They're about to be number 1 ranked team in the country.
Which is ridiculous. That's even a thing. Ohio State should be the number 1 ranked team in the country. But whatever.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what they do. They got a lot of guys coming back, quarterback coming back. I still would have put Ohio State ahead of them, not only in the national rankings, but in the conference. Yeah. But when they lose to Ohio State, like they're gonna, and everybody keeps remembering, oh yeah, this is what Penn State is. I don't know why we keep doing this every single year, so I'm not even gonna bother watching them.
Yeah. Moving right along. LSU knocked off Clemson 17-10. There was a minute here. I thought this game was over. I thought Clemson was going to win the game.
I did too. It was 10-3 at the half, and it wasn't as close as that did seem. I thought Clemson shot themselves in the foot a few times. LSU's defense came up pretty big towards the end of the half, but it looked like Clemson was in control. LSU really couldn't do much. They couldn't run the football. They weren't really passing too well. They were shooting themselves in the foot. Second half, you only scored 14 points, but man, when they needed it, they made it happen.
That's right.
And I got to give them credit. They got it done. The 5-year run, losing the first game of the season is over. And I'll give them credit. Yeah. They schedule a good game, first game every year.
Yeah, on the road in Death Valley.
In the imposter Death Valley.
Yes.
They played well. It was a hostile environment. I mean, the crowd was going nuts. One of the fans, they showed on TV, got a little angry and was giving the FU and the finger like right in the camera. That was classic. Yeah. But a huge win for Kelly's program.
Yeah. They
needed this. LSU was kind of my dark horse this year. They had a lot of guys returning. They recruited excellently. They got a lot of guys in the portal. I mean, they lost the quarterback, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute, with was Underwood that went flipped at the last minute to Michigan, and then they lost the number 1 wide receiver in the country last year, and yet they still have one top 5 recruiting class. They got the talent; they just needed to put it together, and it looked like they did that Saturday night.
Yeah. So moving right along, Georgia knocked off Marshall 45-7. I thought it was a pretty good performance by Georgia. They looked better than they did last year in a lot of different ways. They ran the ball.
Last year, this game would have looked a lot more clunky than it was. Georgia got off to a fast start. I think touchdowns on 3 of the first 4 possessions of the game. They look good running the football. Offensive line, to me, still didn't look as good as it should be. If you're a contender off the bat, I'm like, Georgia's not going to be a national championship contender because of the offensive line. But let's see how they do in a few weeks at Tennessee. They did run block a little bit better than I thought they did last year. Defense looked real good. Defense looked better than it did last year. That front 7 is real stingy. They all ran to the football. The tackling was good, which last year there were multiple games that Georgia played where their defense, still an elite defense, but when it would come to making the tackle, it's like the effort wasn't there. Right. It was almost as if back-to-back national champions and then a 1-loss season, undefeated regular season, and lost to Alabama in the SEC championship game, go to the Orange Bowl and destroy Florida State. after those 3 years, the defense was like, hey, we're Georgia's defense.
Yeah.
It was like they were mailing it in, kind of.
Just showing up and
just showing up and expecting themselves to make something happen. The other day, they looked a lot better than they have last year. So good things looking for Georgia's defense. I still want to see a little bit more from the offense. I thought Gunner played well.
I did too. Puglisi looked good.
Puglisi looked good. They threw the ball well. There wasn't maybe just one of those like, oof. What are you throwing that football for? There was only maybe one of those, which the last couple of years we've seen a lot of those from Carson Beck. Although Beck's been great, I don't dog him.
He had about a 5-game stretch last year that wasn't.
That was bad, but everything else in 2023, he was phenomenal.
Yeah. We're moving right along. Oregon knocked off Montana State 59-13. Ho hum.
Oregon does this every year. I just want to see them play somebody a little bit more meaty.
Yeah, well, they will.
Good for them.
Good for them, absolutely. Florida State knocked off Bama 31-17.
The shocker of the weeks. I read something today that Bama's 5-5 in the last 10 games. Mm-hmm. They're like 2-5, 2-6 in the last like road games. Every single game that Kalen DeBoer has coached for the Alabama Crimson Tide, they have led. Well, they've had more penalties than their opponents. Mm-hmm. They seem like undisciplined. They're having problems tackling. Quarterback play looks sloppy. The kid made some plays though in the second half with his legs.
Yeah.
I thought Castellanos was ridiculous for saying, "Oh, they're not going to be able to stop us." I was like, "All right, dude, we watched you at Boston College last couple of years, and yeah, you beat Florida State last year. Florida State was 2-10 last year, so not a great hay, right?
Yeah.
No great shakes there, but they look like a completely different team. Well, I know they recruited well.
Right.
They've got more guys in the portal. This is kind of like a 2023 version of them. Mm-hmm. Maybe these guys are buying in a little bit more than that team did.
Gus Malzahn is their offense.
Gus Malzahn calling plays.
I don't like Gus Malzahn, but man, when he's coaching an offense, the ball just moves down the field.
It moves down the field. There are teams that Gus Malzahn will struggle against, and there are teams that Gus Malzahn makes his paycheck against. Alabama is one of those teams that Gus Malzahn. I mean, Gus Malzahn was pretty good for Auburn.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. That dude beat Alabama more than anybody else.
That's right.
That they've had in decades. I mean, Florida State's defense came to play. Offense, they were good. I mean, like their recruiting classes, they paid a lot of kids to commit to Florida State. They're legal now, so nobody get mad. Portal guys, and they got themselves a team now. They were unranked. I still don't know what they've got in terms of overall. We'll see if they can continue have this momentum carry them. I think it will. Mm-hmm. You don't win a game like this without this carrying you throughout the season.
That's right.
But Alabama, they got playmakers. They're the number one team rated, like the blue chip rating from ESPN, number one in the country. And they just look completely just out of sorts. I don't like to use the word undisciplined. Everyone's using that lately. They just don't look like...
They don't look like Alabama.
Yeah, exactly. They look like Nick Saban's Alabama. And of course...
They've come back to the pack is what they
Yes, I've seen it. I talked about it today with some people in our group. Like, it's impossible to replace Nick Saban and not have it fall off. He was arguing he didn't expect it to be this hard or this fall this much, this quickly.
I just don't think DeBoer's got his guys in place.
I don't think so either. They were a fringe playoff team last year. I think he's a really good offensive mind. The guy that he brought with him from Washington's on the bench. So I'm wondering how if he gets a little bit more time, what'll happen. But right now, they don't look good.
No. Moving right along, Arizona State knocked off Northern Arizona 38-19.
I watched like just a couple of minutes of this game. I'm glad Arizona State, playoff team last year. Obviously, they should have beat Texas.
Yeah.
Instead, on the fourth down, they wanted an all-out blitz, and safety didn't cover his man, and Texas scored. But I'm glad they're looking good. I'm glad they're playing well. I'm glad somebody on the West Coast is playing elite football. Yeah. So I'll be paying attention to them going forward, see if they can continue.
That's right. Moving right along. Michigan knocked off New Mexico 34-17.
So Underwood looked good. I watched this game. I have to watch Michigan now just because of all the people that we know that our Michigan season
fans.
ticket holders and that want to text me all the time about Michigan. So I watch Michigan a lot. They look good. They looked back to form, championship team form in terms of efficiency.
Right.
I thought Bryce Hunter would look good. Took what the defense gave him. I didn't expect him to look that crisp. Justice Haynes, the Alabama transfer, the guy that really couldn't do much last year for Alabama.
Yeah.
5-star running back, number 1 all-purpose back in that particular year's recruiting class. Everyone wanted him. He's from Georgia. He's a Georgia legacy. His dad played at Georgia. Decided to go and make his own name for himself, go to Alabama. Didn't happen for him. Would have probably been their starter this year, but went to Michigan.
That's right.
And he looks like the next great Michigan running back at the moment.
That's right. Moving right along, Florida knocked off Long Island University 55-0.
And a lot of their backups scored. I mean, they scored 24 points in the second quarter. All right.
15th ranked.
Yep, 38 points in the first half. You know, Lagway had combined for 3 touchdowns. Didn't have to throw for much. But they played Long Island. To me, that's just a little bit different than what some of these other teams are playing.
Yeah.
If you're playing like just a team from the South, they might not be good, but they're going to have athletic players.
Right.
You're playing Long Island. Like, I'm wondering what kind of athletes they got in their team.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to dog out Florida. They look good. I'm 16 team in the country, 55-0. Shutting an opponent out always is something. They've got a good team this year. I just want to see a little more from them.
And we'll get to that here shortly. I'm sure they'll start picking it up. I know next week's schedules for everybody's pretty weak.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. SMU knocked off East Texas A&M 42-13. I didn't even know East Texas A&M even existed.
I didn't either. I didn't watch any of this game. But you just mentioned, this coming week's games are going to be kind of boring. Your typical week 1 games, week 2. The big matchups were week 1, obviously. Not going to have that next year.
That's right.
The SEC is going to 9 conference games, and they've got to schedule Power 5 opponents for their non-conference games, so we're not really going to see much of this anymore. Yeah. So those should be better games going forward.
That's right. North Dakota hung in with Kansas State 38-35, ultimately losing to Kansas State.
Yeah, I thought Kansas State was going to be much better this year. They lost in Dublin to Iowa State, which, Iowa State's a good football team.
Yeah.
But I expect Kansas State to bounce back a little bit better than they did. I mean, they had to get a late touchdown to win this game.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect North Dakota to take it to them the way they did. So maybe Kansas State's like this year's like, I don't want to say it, but just because it's on top of in front of my brain, this year's Florida State. Are they the team that we kind of expect something from that's going to have a big fall off?
Yeah. We'll see. Oklahoma knocked off Illinois State 35-3.
Oklahoma looked good. I watched some of the highlights and maybe about 15 plays of this game. They look good. They got a quarterback. He can run. He can throw. They look good. Again, Illinois State.
We'll see. Texas A&M knocked off UT San Antonio 42-24.
Like I mentioned earlier, playing a team in certain parts of the country, they might not be good, but they've got athletes.
That's one of them.
University of Texas San Antonio's got athletes. Texas A&M look good. They did what they were supposed to do. I don't care. Score 24 points. See what Georgia did. Kirby Smart, 0-18 now when he's favored by 35 plus points. The guy goes up 45-0, but in the entire second half, it's second, third string guys, a lot of freshmen. You give up 1 score, and there goes the spread. Texas A&M did the same thing. I watched maybe a few plays this game at the end, and they had their freshmen in. Give up a couple scores, it kind of kills the spread. Doesn't look as good, but this was basically, a 42-10 win.
That's right. Moving right along, Indiana knocked off Old Dominion 27-14.
Indiana fast approaching Stanford Cardinal status as one of the most hated not only teams but entire universities. That homeboy won't shut his freaking pie hole. You got smoked in the playoffs last year, okay? Shouldn't even been in. Wait, they didn't make it last year.
They didn't make the playoffs.
They did?
Yeah.
Who smoked them? Now, I can't remember. They beat SMU.
Yeah.
Right? Who smoked them? What was the team that smoked them? Was it Penn State?
Might have been Penn State.
Somebody smoked them. And they got beat by every decent team they played. But yeah, this cat wants to run his mouth.
Was it Texas?
I don't know, somebody beat him real bad.
Tennessee ran.
Ohio State ran Tennessee out of the building.
State.
That was an embarrassment for the entire state of Tennessee.
Yes.
I don't remember who they lost to, but he ran his mouth, and then I was like, good. Like, now he won't show. Because I know they beat SMU, right? Mm-hmm. In the cold. SMU just didn't look ready to play.
Right.
But yeah, I don't like Indiana. Yeah. They won, who'd they beat? Old Dominion, 27-14? Yeah. Good. Yeah. You know what? Keep winning games, and you get spanked by every decent team you play this year.
Ole Miss knocked off Georgia State 63-7.
Well, the third year in a row, they scored 60 points in an opener. Yeah. Big deal. We've seen this before from Ole Miss. I want to see what they do. They dropped a clunker last year to Kentucky, and they easily made the playoffs, but they just had to get by a pretty mediocre Florida team and just couldn't do it. That's right. So I wanted to see what they do. The quarterback played a little bit last year, but Jackson Dart was the man. They don't have Jackson Dart now. They don't have a lot of the big players on defense through the portal they've got. I expect Ole Miss to take a step backwards.
Yeah. Let's see. Iowa State knocked off South Dakota 55-7, whatever. Texas Tech knocked off Arkansas Pine Bluff 67-7.
And Texas Tech was the team this year that was like, we're all in on NAL. They paid so many guys in the portal. They got some recruits. This class we're in now is the one where they're getting the most recruits.
Right.
But I'm interested. I've been following them because of all. I mean, they just spent so much money on the portal, and I want to see what they're in a like win now mode. Yeah. So it's this season and next season, in my opinion. Maybe the one after. They got a little window. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But I'm paying attention to Texas Tech, but Arkansas Pine Bluff.
That's right. And the game. Tennessee knocked off Syracuse 45-26.
So I bet on Syracuse. They were getting basically 13.5. Was basically got to win by 14 if you're Tennessee. I expected Tennessee to win this game. I expect them to win by 10. I didn't expect this. Yeah. They look good. Now, Syracuse is replacing basically everybody that was decent from last year. All right. But, Tennessee's replacing a lot of those defense guys. Pierce got drafted, first-round pick for Atlanta Falcons. Mm-hmm. They're replacing those guys. They lost Nico, addition by subtraction. I thought the guy they got would have been like an even Steven trade in terms of athletic ability, because Nico has ridiculous amounts of athletic ability. Yeah. This kid's better. He's got probably a little bit less of Nico's athletic ability, but he's smarter. He's been playing longer. Mm-hmm. He's more experienced. He knows what he's doing. He looked really good. They look good. The rushing attack. Tennessee goes by that rushing attack. Last year, Dylan Sampson. Mm-hmm. He's on the Cleveland Browns now. So this year they got Bishop and they got this other cat. They look good running the football. I thought Tennessee, when they lost Nico, everyone was piling on them. I didn't think they were going to be that good. I didn't think they were that good last year. But they're better this year, in my opinion. I mean, game one, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but they look pretty good.
They looked a lot better. Moving right along, Miami knocked off Notre Dame 27-24. Big game brewing here in a few weeks. Miami and Florida State are playing. We'll see.
Miami was I think a 2.5 point favorite. I covered the spread by picking Miami, so that was good. Mm-hmm. I felt Miami had the edge. CJ Carr from Notre Dame, true freshman QB, looked good. Made one mistake, and I thought that was the play call, putting him in that position to make that mistake. But you're going against Miami. They've paid a boatload of guys from the portal. They paid a boatload of guys in recruiting. Mm-hmm. They got some good players on that team, and they got Carson Beck. Played at Georgia last year. Georgia fans are a little salty. I get it. When he got hurt, and then he kind of went MIA. Yeah. Didn't do the team meetings as they're preparing for the playoff. Didn't want to help the backup who's playing because he's hurt. Yeah. I thought that was kind of shady. Some of the rumors coming out that he had like 3 roommates that none of them were on the football team. He didn't hang out with anybody on the football team. It was almost as like the players didn't like him. Excuse me.
Well, he's a hired gun in Miami.
Yes, but the guy's good. Yep. He's experienced. If they can get 2023 version of Carson Beck, they're going to be really good. And it looks like watching that game yesterday, He threw a couple of balls. I was like, that's the Carson Beck I remember from a few games last year.
Yeah.
But other than that,
he played well.
He played well. I mean, he looked like 2023. Carson Beck throwing over the middle, throwing to the hash. Wideouts were open. It was a close game. I got to give credit to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They're not the team they were last year, but they fought hard, came back, tied it up late. Well, kind of disappointing when they tied it up. They basically, Miami, just marched down the field.
Yeah. Yep.
But good game. Yeah, I don't think Notre Dame's. I see a few more losses on that schedule. I think Miami, Clemson, and Florida State are going to be in the driver's seat of the ACC. I think they're all going to lose in conference. That would mean at least one more loss for Clemson. Hate to see it. But I really think Miami's going to be there at the end. I would like to see how it goes out because, like I said, I think everybody's got at least one conference loss. Yeah. We'll see who's kind of standing at the end. But the ACC's now got a third team. That's good.
That's right.
So that just makes everything better.
That's right. South Carolina knocked off Virginia Tech 24-11.
South Carolina covered the spread. Yeah. Ugly game. Real ugly game. They didn't really pull away until the fourth quarter. There was a touchdown that wasn't called a touchdown. It was called back. Mm-hmm. I thought the guy caught it. Got actually 2 feet down in the end zone. Hit the ground, and then the ball started to roll. I'm like, well, he's stepped 2 feet in the end zone, falls to the out of bounds, hit the ground. Should be dead right there.
That's
but
right.
Called it back. But they won. A little closer than I think our South Carolina fans would have liked. They're one of those teams that we have high expectations for, just about who's coming back. Right. So we'll see what happens. Excuse me, I watched that game yesterday.
All right. Waiting for this to upload. Okay, Week 2's games. There is a game tonight. North Carolina. Who are they taking on?
I don't know. It's Bill Belichick's first game.
Yeah.
I picked North Carolina to win.
Well, let's see. All right. Well, we got a Friday night game. Boise State's taking on Eastern Washington.
I might watch like the first quarter because we're going to go to the game next week. Probably have to get up early.
Not the young man we used to be.
No.
Texas gets a bounce back against San Jose State at noon on ABC.
Penn State, Florida International. Yeah, Illinois, Duke. That's a pretty decent game. Yeah. Big Ten ACC matchup.
Yep. In Durham, North Carolina. Scrolling on down, we got
Baylor. SMU looks good. Baylor lost to Auburn this past weekend, and Auburn looked good.
Yes, they did.
They still really can't throw the football too well, but defense is good. Rushing attack was really good.
That's right. Indiana's got Kennesaw State.
Where is that? Bloomington. Let's go Kennesaw State.
Yeah. Iowa State. Rivalry
game.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. We got Texas.
That'd be huge if Iowa State can take out Iowa.
Yeah. Let's see Texas A&M against Utah State. Ohio State.
Just Grambling.
That's going to be ugly. Clemson against Troy. We got Georgia against Austin Peay will be at that game.
Yep.
Oklahoma State, Oregon.
God. I mean, good Power 5 matchup. Mm-hmm. But God, I think Oregon's going to just destroy Oklahoma State.
I agree. Kentucky, Ole Miss.
Kentucky doesn't look good at all at football. And it's at Kentucky. I expect Ole Miss revenge from last year and taking out Kentucky pretty good.
East Tennessee State's got Tennessee. South Florida against Florida.
That might be a sneaky good game. 4:15 p.m. That's a game we'll probably miss being at the game. But I mean that might be a sneaky good game.
I agree. Bethune-Cookman against Miami. Let's see. South Carolina State. South Carolina. It's like every year, isn't it?
Kansas State Army. Army lost to a team that I didn't even know was a college Saturday. So I would guess Kansas State might try to right the ship and get to 2-1 in the season. Maybe. You
got Louisiana Tech, LSU.
Louisiana Tech, some of the best uniform colors and combination in all of college football. Check them out. Arizona State, Mississippi State. That's going to be a good game. I expect Arizona State to handle them. But maybe Mississippi State. They've got some players. They went hard in the portal. They got guys from Alabama. They got guys from LSU. They got guys from Georgia. They got guys from Texas. They got guys from Texas A&M. Maybe some of those guys can start paying dividends, and maybe they can pull off the win against Arizona State and make the SEC proud. Because I know SEC fans are kind of hiding their heads right now.
That's right. Michigan, Oklahoma. It's going to be a big one, 7:30.
I'm going to say, my gut tells me Oklahoma's just got more talent right now. Mm-hmm. But that's going to be a tough game. It's in Oklahoma. I don't really look at Oklahoma as being one of the toughest places to play in the country. That's going to be a good game.
I agree.
Number 14, number 18, that's going to be what time? 7. All right, so that's the game. We'll probably get back around halftime.
Mm-hmm. Alabama's got Louisiana Monroe.
So that'll be a good game for them to kind of right the ship. Yeah. See if Ryan Williams is going to play because he got concussed. I don't think he actually got concussed. I think he was just done playing. He was showing some body language and yelling at players. To me, it looked like he was angry and frustrated. And it looked to me like he kind of just said, forget this. Yeah. But could be wrong.
That's this week. Next week, 2 slate of games. Nothing major's happening other than a few odd and end games. But this week, too, you typically expect to see that. Now, starting week 3, the games start getting more meaningful.
Yes, week 3 is when most teams are at least going to the conference. There's a couple of conference games this weekend, and there's a couple of good out-of-conference games. Mississippi State, Arizona State, Oregon, Oklahoma State, Michigan, Oklahoma. Those are going to be good games. Florida, South Florida. So you got a couple of decent games to at least try to pay attention to.
That's right. Well, you guys enjoy your week ahead and hope you're enjoying your Labor Day weekend.
See it.
Take it easy.